What if I told you the same mindset that had someone picking up cans and bottles in ditches for $30 a month could eventually lead to managing billions in assets? Yeah, that's billions. Today's guest, Marissa Nehlsen, went from living in a trailer court to partnering with great leaders like John Maxwell and managing multiple seven-figure businesses. But here is what's really powerful for us today. She's going to share the exact framework that she used to get there, including her freedom plan that every entrepreneur needs to know. This isn't just another rags to riches story. This is a blueprint, so let's dive in.
Welcome to the Thinking Big podcast with Sean Osborne, the show helping you think bigger into your life and potential. Sean believes by equipping you with the tools, strategies, and philosophies required to be successful in all aspects of your life, you can achieve anything you believe in. Empowering our own growth makes a deeply positive and lasting impact on our lives, community, and our world. Now, here's Sean.
If Marissa's story proves anything, it's that where you start doesn't determine where you finish. Her book, Live Life Rich, comes out August 19th, but if you pre-order now at liveliferichbook.com, you're going to get exclusive access and training worth over $2,500 completely free. You want this, trust me, you don't want to miss out on this. Don't sleep on this. Go to liveliferichbook.com right now. Pause the episode if you need to. Get the book. My guest today built an 8-figure financial firm managing over $1 billion in assets, but she started by picking up cans in ditches for $30 a month. Marissa Nehlsen has founded 5 companies, coached thousands of entrepreneurs, partnered with great leaders like John Maxwell, and is about to share her exact blueprint for financial freedom. And again, a huge congratulations for doing that stuff with John Maxwell. It is truly a good company and a good, I mean, obviously John is a fantastic person. And that's that's part of where I got started in even doing what I'm doing now. Oh. I mean, I think it was like 8 or 9 years ago. I was still running IT for Chevron. And I went to John Maxwell, the leadership side. I was like, okay, I want to be the best leader I can be. I had no idea of coaching. I had no idea of speaking. I was like, the 21 laws, he's a leadership guru. I'm going to go learn under him, join the John Maxwell team again. That was like 8 or 9 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Coming in just for the leadership stuff. And it's like, and I remember sitting there thinking, oh shit, what did I get myself into?
Yeah.
Because it's so much more.
Yeah, me too. The first time I joined in 2014, but I started studying his work like 30 years ago when I first started in the industry, between 28 and 30 years ago. And the time frame, because I had started, Zig Ziglar and Tony Robbins, like I have it when he was still called Anthony Robbins.
Yep.
Like I have all the old Personal Power 2 and the Personal Power 1, the old. Remember when he used to do, I don't know if you remember this, but I'm aging myself a little bit here, Sean. So I'm going to lie till I die, baby, about my age. Just lie till I die. But
wait, I've got some things in here that are going to point them out very clearly.
Oh God, don't do it. But I have the old Awaken the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins, the big thick novel that he wrote for one of those first books.
Yeah.
And I remember reading that, and it's got like the really, really fine print on it. And I was like, those kind of things just ignited something in me.
Yeah.
And you go, whoa.
Yeah.
Could I do that? Right. And I'm living in a trailer court at the time. Right. I'm living in a trailer court and I'm picking up cans and bottles, like walking through the ditches, trying to, because you used to take it to this recycling centers and you get money back for aluminum cans and glass bottles. And so I had big black, like contractor bags, and I'd walk through the ditches by where I lived. And I'm like, I just need $30 a month. I just need $30. Now, $30 a month, 30 years ago was, geez, you might as well have asked me to buy you a Lamborghini for you and your 10 friends. Not happening. $30 a month was so much money. But it's amazing what the power of like that ability to change you change your mind, you change your life. 100%. I am living proof of it.
Yeah. And we're both. I mean, it's like, I think part of my backstory is like I was homeless by the time I was 15 and had my first kid at like 16. I was homeless. It's like that was it was, I remember those times. They're at the same time, I wouldn't change it for anything. It's like, that's what To me,
Yeah.
those hard things that we go through, those things, that's a luxury.
Yeah.
That is a gift that
Huge gift.
people don't get. And it's like, so it's, again, I'm thankful for the, the stuff that I've went through, but yeah.
Well done. Well done, Sean, on who you are, who you are. It's way better than what you have or who you know.
Yep.
It's who you are. And
Yeah.
I followed you. I don't do a ton of social media because I just don't get a lot of time to, get on and follow everyone's world. But
Overrated. It's all
yeah,
overrated.
I don't get a lot of time for that. But I will say, you've played in the circles where like people that like I really know and love and respect. And Andrew Manzano, I think you were in his studio.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how long ago, but a while back. And he was saying that you had an amazing course that was out, and you had taped some stuff and filmed some stuff in his studio. And he said that guy is the real deal. Like and one of the things that he listens to really carefully, and he's very, very good for me because we've become incredible friends. They were in Switzerland last week with me. They were in Ireland the week before. So he travels with me now. When John does not require him to be in a studio, he's traveling now on these types of things. And he said, he'll really listen to the leader that's in there. And so shortly thereafter, like 3 months later, I'm having a conversation. They had approached me on something and I just didn't feel good about it, And so I said, "Hey, Andrew, didn't you say that this guy was in your studio recently? How'd that go?" And he said, "Oh, not a values match for you." And he then tells me the story. And I was like, "Oh, okay, good." So, sometimes God just sends incredible people to protect you around you, and you can see, are they the real deal? Are they sheep's in wolf clothing, or wolves in sheep's clothing kind of thing? And yeah, I've been very fortunate with that.
Yeah.
So well done, because he told me your course is absolutely stunning.
Oh, great. Yeah. I think it's a big value to people. And I think it's, I think it'll be used here going out. So I think there's a lot of stuff that'll happen from that. And you mentioned something in there, and I think they're going back to where kind of we grew up. I think we have the ability to read people very quickly. It's like we're in a spot where it's life or death when you're in some of these situations. It's like you've got to be able to read situations. You got to read people. It's like I can read people. I can't read people. I can read energy extremely quickly. And if I can just look at someone or talk to someone for a split second and say, "Yep, nope, don't trust you.
Yeah.
Stay away," or you've got the energy. And it's like, but there's a way that you learn to read people. Yeah.
I call it my HSS. I'm a person of faith, and I just tell people, if you're not a person of faith, it's totally fine. Take a deep breath. I'm not trying to convert you or anything. It's just, I'm telling my story. Just relax. Everybody take a pill. You relax, right? Because the whole world, like, you can't say things anymore without people just slamming you for, you go, well, that's insane or whatever. But, I'm a person of faith. I call it my HSS. It's like that intuition, Holy Spirit speak. And I really feel like I've been just massively protected in multiple situations throughout my career and throughout my world. And I also think we all drink from somebody else as well.
Yeah.
And so who you surround yourself with, that is, we must protect our Fab Five, right? Like who are the five that we're in season with right now? And that's not always the same people long term, right? But we grow, and I've grown out of rooms and grown into other rooms where this room is no longer growing, and we're thinking on a different level. I'm meeting next week. I head to Atlanta, and then from there we're heading to New York. And one of my friends from Ireland said, "Hey, will you meet with this guy and me in New York?" And he's a billionaire. He's done very, very well. He's the youngest. He was the youngest CEO of like a World Bank ever. He's the youngest CEO of a World Bank. And so anyway, we have a dinner with Bill, and I said he's a good guy. I said there are some things there that you want to make sure are really, really clean when you go in. And in the world he plays in, which is finance, and I get it because I'm playing with big money. right? And when I say playing with that, like in those circles of big money, they think different. People that are on Wall Street, New York City type personalities, they aren't thinking the same way you're thinking.
Nope.
And we have to be really mindful of that when you step onto their yacht or you step into their, one of my dear friends is the COO of Goldman Sachs worldwide. And, she has really reminded me of that because she's a first generation from Ghana. Like, and her whole, what she's achieved and who she is, it's just an incredible thing. So anyway, we're going to New York City to meet with this guy. And I said, you want to keep that real clean. Make sure you have a really very, very clean conversation with him about what's the outcome that needs to be achieved and why he's included in this conversation in the first place. Because he's a capitalist, which is great, but he's going to capitalize on what you have here. And you need to know that there's an ask and there's a something else here that he's asking for. And
nothing for free.
Yeah. So, just think that one through a little bit, right? Anyway, She was laughing. She's like, that whole street sense thing, because she calls it my street smarts, right? And you've got the same thing, right? You when you grow up in those scenarios, something doesn't quite sound right or feel right. I say it doesn't feel right.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's a feeling. It's like it doesn't feel right. It does not look right. And I've got the same. It's like I trust very slowly. Basically, it's like I trust extremely slowly. But when you're in that trust, it's all or nothing. I will protect. I will do everything for that person. But for me, it's tough getting into that spot. It's like I just trust extremely, extremely slow. Yeah.
Yeah, that inner circle piece. Daniela Nika, I think you know her. She was in a mastermind with you at one point. Yep. Daniela and Marius, they met us in Switzerland. And, Daniela and I have been friends since we met through Maxwell several years ago. And, there was some challenges when she left that position within Romania that she had. And we were talking a little bit about this, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for her. If she said, hey, I need you to show up in St. Petersburg, Russia tomorrow with $1 million cash in a briefcase, I would be there, right? Like, there's nothing that woman couldn't ask me for, because she's a 3 a.m. sisterhood friend. And if you need something, I got you. And no questions asked. What do you need? Right. Yeah. So we need people like that. We have to. That. We need relationships like that. Mike Kim says relationships are rocket ships, right? And I truly believe that is 100% true. And trust verified. I have teenagers. You had teenagers. You get it. Trust verified.
I have teenage grandkids.
Oh my God. You know what? It's so funny. I think the last time I had seen a Facebook post with you and your granddaughter, you were taking her to, was it Italy or Turkey or something like that?
We just took her like a while ago to Tulum. Like took her to Tulum, and we love traveling with her. So it's like, that's one of the things, like I never traveled until I was probably 40 years old. And it's like, it's like, and I look at it, it's like I lived on the same page of a book for my entire life. And it's like, now that I'm traveling to all these places, that's why I do what I do. It's like, I just love traveling.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's all about.
Yeah, we were, I was, my children, I don't know when the last time was that we talked, but I moved my entire family to St. Pete's Beach, Florida. And I bought a big old house, and I did the Oprah Winfrey thing. Now you get a suite, and you get a suite, and you get a suite, and everybody got a suite. And now we're all living together, and it's fabulous. But my grandchildren, I've been raising my grandchildren with my son since they were 1 and 2. They're now 5 and 6. Yeah. I look at that and I go, my God, the influence we get to have as grandparents, and grandparents with resources, right? Like Hazel at 5 years old is reading chapter books, and she's in one of the best schools here, but it's also, it's educational, but it's also creativity, and it's also thinking outside the box. And I'm having conversations with her. We were just talking about how to monetize her genius the other day. And she said, Grandma, so she had everything ready. She got it all ready. And she said, I need some money, Grandma, because and this is the word, it cracks me up. She's 6 years old. She said, Grandma, I need some capital No shit. This is what she says. I need some capital, right? Like, because I got to go to the store, Grandma. I found all the cups. I got everything ready. I got the sign from the garage. She's going to do a lemonade stand in our thing. And she said, what price do you think I should make per cup? She's 6. She's 6. So she's asking me for some capital, AKA cash, to input for the cookies and for the lemonade, for the, the stuff for the lemonade. And I just started laughing. I was like, oh my, you know what? Few years sitting next to your grandma in conversations, but I bring my kids with me. I bring my grandkids with me. My daughter travels everywhere. She's at all the seats at the table with me.
Yep.
John Maxwell knows her really well. There's some people in the world that know her really well. We were laughing about it because Charlie Wetzel was with us last week in the castle too. He's John's writer for like 35 years. And she was having a conversation with Charlie, and he's just so wise. And I said that our children get to experience, or our grandchildren get to experience, this type of life and be exposed to things that really can expand a horizon in a whole different way. Because I want to teach them stewardship. How do I help them make it? How do I help them keep it? How do I help them multiply it? And then how do I help them pass it with purpose? And as I pass it, I want to pass it with purpose, right? So I love that you're doing that with her. How old is she now?
She is 13 now, but then we've got a 2-year-old that is, gosh, she's a genius. The 2-year-old, holy cow, she's a genius.
Oh my God.
This kid's gonna be a smart one. I tell my wife, it's like, she got it from me. That's my genes.
You know what?
She's like,
own it, baby. Own it. 100%. Just own that stuff. I love it. Anyway.
And speaking of John Maxwell, well, one, congratulations on your new book, Live a Life Rich. And
yeah.
John, he actually did the forward to the book for you, didn't he?
He did the forward. That was amazing. When I got the forward for the book, I've been following him for so many years, and I couldn't write my story and leave him out. Quite frankly, he's had such a profound, how you have these mentors that have been such a profound impact on your life, that when you think back about these turning points, these tipping points, these really impactful moments, John through his books mentored me. Way more than the 21 irrefutable laws was Today Matters. It's the book that has shaped my life so profoundly. I read it twice a year because you're in a different place today than you were last year, right?
Yeah.
Or 6 months ago, or you at least hope to be in a different place with awareness and growing forward and your growth plan. But I had called him. He had asked me to come on a cruise for one of his nonprofits last year to Greece. And I had called him right after that cruise. And I said, John, I have a book coming out next year. I'd really love if you would do the forward for me. And he said, yeah, done. And he said, I don't normally do that. He's like, you have to be in some kind of a network and all these publishing deals and all that stuff that happens behind the scene. But I got it in, Sean, and I'm telling you, when he sent me the email, I sat in my chair. I have a thinking chair in my room, and I sat in that chair for probably 3 hours, and even thinking about it now, I'm not going to cry. Okay, I'm not going to cry, but
it's one of those full circle moments. This is it's a full circle. It's like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That anybody that's listening right now, if you sit back and you actually think, everything we do is full circle. It's like what we think about controls our destiny, right? And it's like, so that was a big impact. And I had the same thing. It's like, I call them my silent mentors. It's like that's all I could afford back then, right? It's like, I couldn't afford to go see people. I couldn't afford to do these things. I literally found books, and it's like, those are our mentors as we start to grow. As we start, it's like, no, it doesn't matter where we start, but I love those full circle moments. It's like, you come back to those, and it's like, wow, how it just makes you think just how mysterious and how ingenious life is to do that. And that was huge. Congratulations on that.
And now partnering with him, I got to pinch myself. I'm like Maxwell leadership. I think I would never have guessed that, 33 years ago, sitting in my trailer in the trailer court, just trying to figure out how I'm going to pay the heat and the electricity that month. That by reading these books, by applying the principles, I would have the life I have today. And it's simple, but it's hard.
Yeah.
You have
That's a great way to put it.
You have to be steadfast. And there are those principles. That's why I wrote the book, because when I was talking about it, probably 3 years ago, I was at a Maxwell event and I was talking to John about books, and he said, "Why haven't you written your book?" And then I was talking to my dear friend, Mike Kim, and Mike Kim said, "You've got to write your book." I mean, he harped on me for a solid 2 years. 2 years. I'm like, "Mike, let it go. I got companies to run. I got things to do." He's like, and so he said to me, "Okay, smarty pants," right? He's very good to me, and we love each other. It's a good thing. We're in good community with each other. And he said, "The deal is this. One day you're no longer going to be on this planet. What do you want your children to know, your grandchildren to know, your clients to know? And what do you want the entrepreneurs to know?" He's like, "You believe in entrepreneurship. You believe that entrepreneurs change the world. You believe that these small businesses, large businesses around the world actually make way more impact than any government organization anywhere in the world, than anything that," he's like, "Why would you not write that in a book and tell people what do they need to know? What do they need to learn? What do they need to do? Like, what are the fundamentals that took you from a trailer court to here?"
Yeah.
And I said, "All right, well, that's worth it then. Like, I'll write the book." So we sat down and we started that process. And I mean, it is a labor of love. If you've ever written a book, it's you don't write a book.
First draft. Yeah. I thought it was going to be easy. Yeah, that's an easy. It's like, especially if you, so here's the thing. People can go and they can chat GBT a damn book. Anybody can get a book out.
Yeah.
Having a book that matters is hard. And that's what, so I want to talk about the title, because Live Life Rich, that's going to, just from experience, that's going to ruffle a few feathers, because I always, whenever I talk about it, like even the book Think and Grow Rich, right? So when you talk about that stuff, people's initial reaction is, "It's money."
Yes.
Live life rich. It's money. Why would you want all that money? It's like, and you start getting flack, and it's like, explain a little bit from your side what live life rich is.
Yeah. Really, really simple for me. A rich life is a full life. It's emotionally rich. When you look in the mirror, how do you feel about yourself? When you reflect on your day, did you add value? Did you make a difference? Did you serve someone? Did you show up for you and for the others around you? Which then leads me to the second piece. There's five core fundamentals for me in a rich life. Emotionally, that's me. Am I emotionally well? Am I healed? Am I solid? Am I ready? Am I raw? Am I real with the people around me? What does that look like, right? And then there's relationships, right? So emotional to relational. How do I interact with others? That's great if I feel good about myself, but if I'm a total jerk to everyone I meet today, and I'm demanding an awful human who, I'm stepping on people to get ahead, relationships are a key fundamental to us doing anything of value in our life. What we do together, I ask the question in my companies and with my people and all of our missions is, what must we do together we can't do alone? That's relationships. That's you bring you, I bring me. We bring each one of us have our gifts, our talents, our purposes, our passions. We bring that together, and we can do more together than we can do alone. And it can be rich. I can
compounding. Not only can we, to me, not only can we do more together, but we can. It's a compounding effect. It's not just us together. It's now us together, and it's like,
yeah.
It's like it's like you're. It is a truly compounding effect that I think one of the ways it was said is, if you put two pull horses, like from a farm, pull horses together, each horse can do like 8,000 pounds each.
Yeah.
You put them together, my math would say 16,000, but you put two together and they can do what, like 35, 40,000. It's like, it's that combined energy that can really make a step change for everything.
The synergy and energy and relationships for you will take you farther than you could ever dream.
Yeah.
And it's so much more powerful than anything one person could do. And so when I think about this rich life journey, it's about the emotional, the relational, the spiritual. For me, I need to be connected to something more. I've worked with a lot of wealthy people in the finance world for 30 years plus. And what I found with that is money is not the thing that makes you happy. It is not. It is all the rest of this stuff. But if we have the resources, the more that flows to me can flow through me to solve problems in the world. That's why I believe the world needs you rich. The world needs you rich because if you think like I do, I'm a problem solver. I'm going to go solve some problems. I was just talking to my best friend, Tammy White, today. She's a second grade teacher from a little tiny town in North Dakota. And she has a nonprofit that goes into schools and has this thing called The Closet. Now, this woman is not a multimillionaire. She's my best friend, second grade teacher. Love her. Just love her. She's not sitting on a yacht someplace, but she's using her time, her energy, and her resources to change the world around her. Tammy is one of the richest people I know.
Yep.
She is rich. Her students come in, they hug her every day. They say, "Thank you, Mrs. White. Thank you." And so I think about that spiritual side, that connection for me about living out my purpose on why am I on this planet? To serve, to love, to add value. And then from there, physically rich. If I don't take care of me, I've been on a real health journey because this has been probably the hardest one for me. So I'm just going to call myself out on this one. But this one's been really, really hard for me for all these years because I thought I'm just going to give and give and give and give to everyone. But then when I'm giving to everyone, there's nothing left at the end of the day. And so I'd slunk into bed at, midnight. I'd be up at 5, sometimes 4:30. I'm doing homework. I'm packing lunches. I'm doing laundry in between. I'm trying to run my businesses and take the calls and send the emails and do the housework and all the stuff that needed to be done because I'm like many of you, we're parents. We have families, we have commitments, we have parents that are committed to it. Like my mom is in her 80s now, and I have to do certain things to make sure mom is good, and I need to be rich to do that. And when I say I need to be rich, I need to have the ability to take the time off work because I have the financial wherewithal to do that so I can care for my mom. When my mom says, "Hey, I can't fly there to see you because she can't get in the seats back, can't walk past that in the airplane anymore," I have financial resources to put my mom in first class. Now, that might not sound like a big deal to you, but to my mom, it's a huge deal because it's the difference between her knowing her children and her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. And that $1,200 flight, which may be a big thing to you, may not be a big thing to you, is a huge thing to my mom. And I think about what kind of rich life do I want to have? So emotionally, relationally, spiritually, physically, for me to take care of my health, I look at where she's at today. I still want to be running at 80. I want to be running, right? And it's a lesson I've learned from others in my sphere of influence, right? I look at that and I go, I got to take better care of myself so that I can serve more people, so that I can, whatever the fill in the blank is for you, that's the key. And then the last one for me is financially. So those are the 5 core areas: emotionally, relationally, spiritually, physically, and then financially. And I put financially at the end of that on purpose because these other things have to be in order before you get that in order. Now, it's not perfection. We're like work in progress here, right? So don't wait to get that in order. But I wanted a roadmap for people on how to use their resources, how to make that money, how to keep it, how to multiply it, and how to pass it with purpose. A rich life for me is this is not a money thing.
Right.
This is a purpose-filled. Who do you want to be? And who do you want to be for others around you? And what problems do you want to solve? Because if you're listening to this podcast, right, you are people that think big. You are people that think on a different level. So the question I'd ask you is this, like for you too, Sean, right? What at the end of your life would you regret not having given your all to? And even if they don't know your name, I have several organizations They don't even know me. But we know that the work that we're doing through that organization, and I say we because that's relationships, they become rocket ships for us. At the end of my life, I will have lived full. I will have served people and made a difference in a way that I can be proud of and say, you know what? That was worth the trade of my time, my energy, and my resources. And I believe the more that flows to me, flows through me, and absolutely can be a territory taker in the world. We can take back the night. We can take back what the enemy has stolen from people, stealing their dreams, stealing their hopes, stealing the things that beat us down. And we go, well, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I should just get a real job. Oh my God, every entrepreneur in the world. You should not get a real job, right? Don't get a real job and get away from the anaconda life-sucking people around you that say, go get a real job, because they are stealing your hopes and dreams, and they were given to you on purpose for a purpose. And that is why I wrote this, because I want my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren and my teams and my families and the people that are important to me, I want them to know this is a roadmap on how to do that.
Yeah.
Practical, tactical.
Yeah. And I got a pre-release copy of the book, and I'm telling you, it is absolutely fantastic. So it will go in August, right? That's when it actually gets,
August 19th. The date is August 19th. We have a book launch prior to that is for people that pre-purchase the book before August 19th. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we have for them. We're going to have some private Q&A people with those people that go on that list. We're going to have a workbook that will go to them. We've got some different parts to that video series that will come out to them. There's a whole bunch of things that if you just buy the book after August 19th, you get the book, which is great, right?
Yeah.
But prior to that, I really wanted to add value to those who say, you know what, I'm on this journey too. And as an entrepreneur, we need to have people speak into us and not just motivationally. Like I love that, but that's good. I always love feeling good for about 20 minutes after an event.
Sometimes you actually got to do something though.
Yeah. But then when you go home, what are you going to do? Right. And so for this was not just a motivational rah-rah. This was a practical, tactical. How do you apply this to your life and build your rich life, right? Yeah. And take those things in your finances and master them. How do we become a master of this? Because you've got something that there's what's required of you to get there. And we're all trading our lives for something. I'm not going to trade my life for mediocre.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is when I'm going to actually date us.
Oh, no, don't do it. Don't do it.
This is going to date us, because part of how you started out, you were actually hustling $5 $5 insurance policies in Kmart aisles. That's what dates us. Kmart aisles. How many people remember Kmart aisles? But you were doing this within Kmart aisles and going from that to literally managing billions of assets for people.
Yeah.
What, if you're looking back, what was the mindset shift or the pivotal decision that, bridged that gap on how you can do that? Yeah.
So I heard a Zig Ziglar quote when I was hustling in those aisles, because I'm trying to feed my kid. And the problem was back then I couldn't afford daycare. And so the reason I was hustling in Kmart aisles is because I would take my baby and I would go to the baby aisle and I would meet other moms. And I am talking about $5. Let's get them started on insurance for $5 a month. You can set this up for your baby too. So I learned how to introduce myself to people. But here's where that started. It started with a quote from Zig Ziglar. And it said this: if you help enough people, I'm phrasing a little bit differently here, but there's lots of different quotes on Zig Ziglar. If you help enough people get what they want, you can have your heart's desire. And for me, I was like, well, I want to be able to feed my kid, and I want to be able to get out of the trailer court. And how do I help people and give them something of value And so I had to get good at meeting people. I had to get good at putting myself in situations that were uncomfortable. Part of my rich life journey has been always asking, what can I do that's uncomfortable now? It's stepping out of when we go from the thing where we kind of can get a little complacent and we say, no, I'm good. I ask 3 questions. And the first question is, what if? It's a possibility question. What if this could happen? What if one day I could buy my mom a house and get her out of the trailer court? What if I could do that? And then what for? That's the purpose question. Why would you even want to do that? Purpose. And then the last question I asked was, what's next? So dating myself way back from Kmart, I would say personal development. Back in the day, we were talking about it earlier, but I used to go through the ditches around where I lived and have a big black contractor bag, and I'd pick up bottles and cans and I'd take it to the recycling center so I could make $30 a month. I knew just about how much I needed to have in that bag every single month to make $30 a month. And they would give like a little different price point every month. So I had to really check my weight on that deal. But $30 a month. And then I would buy, resources from John Maxwell on how to be a better leader. Because I knew if I could lead my life, what all these guys had spoken into me, Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and Anthony Robbins back in the day before he became Tony Robbins, and John Maxwell, was that if you become a better leader and you lead your life well, everything changes. Everything changes when you think about what you think about. And that it's humbling now. I look back and I go, there's a lot of people in the world that work really, really hard. Yeah. And I feel for them because I'm like, geez, you bought into this crappy system, and I know you want a better life for your people. I know you want a better life for your community. I know you have things inside of you that you're passionate about. So in this season of my life, I'm good. I've been good for a long, long time. I could sit on a beach anywhere. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in using my life as a vessel to help others, to truly do that. And I know that sounds kind of hokey in the world we live today, and people go, yeah, what's in it for you? Trust me, I'm good. I am good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there comes a time in your life where I go, what would be worth trading my life for now? And this is worth trading my life for. I'm taking my water pistols out. I'm charging hell every day. I'm bringing entrepreneurs to another level with me and saying, hey, you know what? Grab your water pistols. We're all going to charge hell, and we're going to bring our friends back too. And this is how we change the world around us. Our resources, our thoughts, our ideas, and most importantly, our actions. What are we putting into action? Practical, tactical actions that will make a difference. So anyway, I get really passionate about that. You asked a right and wrong question, maybe.
Yeah, and it takes me back to, it's like how much I think, and I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but if I wasn't starving, I wouldn't have done some of the things that I did.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have. It's like, if you weren't in the spot that you were in, would you have put yourself in the position to where you would be in the Kmart aisles pushing that? Or would you be more like, things are okay. Let's just let it roll. How can the listeners, and how can people understand that it's those times, it's those things that build the character, that it's that starving that pushes us to do the great things, to do the uncomfortable things? I mean, I think there's a point in our life, there's a point right now, you can push yourself to get out of that comfort zone. It's like we've learned that muscle that, okay, we know what we need to do to push ourselves. But for someone who doesn't have that built yet, or that mindset yet, it's like, how can we just show them you're in crap right now, but that is what will take you to the next level? Use that. And it's like, God, and it's like, it's in your story. It's like that drove you to do some of the stuff that you did.
Yeah. What you say, what you speak out loud over your day, over your life, over your people, over your relationships, over your money. I'm a big fan of telling the enemy of my soul, you just got to get the hell out of my house. Now, I love Jesus. I swear a little, so just take a breath. Okay, just relax, everyone. But I'm like, get out. You are not welcome here. And I know that's really hard when you're in the junk of it. When I I went through a divorce in 2013, and it was probably one of the lowest times of my life. And sitting in my house, I remember it just like so dramatically. Sitting in my house, I'd sold everything. We had started new and had my kids and trying to figure out what am I going to do next. And I'm embarrassed because I'm failed. When you're in a place of epic failure, whether it's a relationship failure, a business failure, failure is failure. It hurts like the dickens. It hurts like nothing else. The death of a dream, whatever that dream is, whether it's the death of a relationship, I lost my fiance to cancer in 16. Whatever that death is, the question I ask is, why am I still here? Because the enemy does not fight that hard to push you down and keep you down unless you are worthy of something amazing on the other side of it. I believe that. Like, I believe that for somebody who's sitting listening right now and they're going, you know what? I just got to get a real job. I just got to do something different here. I would tell you, you like Think and Grow Rich, right? You're probably 3 feet from gold right now and you don't even know it. But there are some very systematic things that you can do to keep yourself in order. One of those is what you think about and read and who you surround yourself with daily. You've got to get the anacondas out of your life. Kill every snake that is about to suck and destroy you of all of your motivation, all of your ability, right? You got to get away from those people. Or if they live with you, limit your contact and your conversation with them about these things that you must do. And sometimes they live with you and you can't get away from it, right? You'd like, it's my mom, right? Or it's my spouse. Sometimes it's your spouse and you go, geez.
And if they're with you right now, while you're listening to this, just don't say anything. Just smile.
No, baby, that's not you. I promise it's not you. But what you speak out over your life, what you write out, what you journal about. I have 10-cent notebooks I bought from Kmart. 10 cents. They were 10 cents back in the day. You can't buy nothing for 10 cents anymore. But for 10 cents, I used to buy these notebooks and they go on sale during school time. And I would write out my dreams. I would spend some time asking the questions. What do I want to have? What do I want to do? Who do I want to become? What do I want my life to look like? Something I wrote 25 years ago in that notebook, which has come to fruition back in 2017 for me, was I want to start a school for women. And in Costa Rica now we have sewing schools for women. Now when I tell you this, that was done way back in 1997 when I first wrote that down. 1997. And it didn't come to fruition until 2017. But when you write those things down, I think all of heaven or the universe or whatever you call it in your world, it pays attention to the things that you focus your time and your energy and your resources on. And so who you surround yourself with, getting into the groups, what you listen to, stop listening to Netflix, right? Stop wasting your time on things that are sucking you dry. Or you say, well, like I was coaching someone recently and they said, well, I need that to decompress. I said, great, go take a walk, go to the gym, go sit by the sea, go climb a tree. I don't care what you do, but get off of the social media for the comparison trap because you're not far enough along. Get off of Netflix, which is literally not serving you, and start listening to a podcast, read a book, and then just take one thing and apply it because small actions over time will lead to great change in your life. You will not see it today. You will not.
Yeah.
But small actions over time will lead you to great change.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why people don't heed that warning or they don't look at that as much as they should. And people, what's funny is if I look at successful people throughout history, they all say that. I don't care who you listen to. It's like who you surround yourself with and what you think is what you become. And it's like people say, they've said that over and over and over again from, quote, Jim Rohn, you become the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most, or it just, everybody says that. And I think because you can't make a direct correlation, or it's hard to make a direct correlation between a thought that I had 25 years ago and something that happened today, you can't make that correlation very easily, that people just goes in one ear and out the other. And it's like, but you are absolutely correct. We design our life based on who we hang out with, what we listen to, what we write to the universe, there is a 100% correlation, but it's just hard to see sometimes unless you journal. It's like you went back. If you hadn't journaled that, even though you wrote that down, if you didn't go back and look at it, you probably would have never made that connection of, oh shit, I actually thought about this 25 years ago. It's so hard to do, but it is 100% true. And I can tell you that wherever anybody listening right now, wherever you are today, it's because of what you thought 5 years ago.
That's right.
10 years ago. And there's no other way around. It's as simple as that, but it's also very hard to comprehend or hard to visualize that.
Yeah, this piece of who you surround yourself with, you also have to make an investment in that. You must invest. I'm an investor. And I'm not just talking about stock market or real estate. I would tell you I'm a massive investor. That $30 a month that I spent getting tape sets back then, they were cassette tapes. So just everybody that is under 30 in the room, Google cassette tapes. You'll see what we're talking about.
Kmart cassette tape.
Oh, God, we got throwbacks here. But if you think about that for just a minute, you are investing in all sorts of things around you, and people are looking for get rich quick stuff all the time. How do I get my hustle, right? How do I get my grind going in this way? And I'm like,
yep.
The most important and most valuable investment you will ever make is, quite frankly, in you. Now, I used to have this thing called a library card. You would go to this place and they had books there, and you could check them out for like nothing, right? You just pay for the library card, which was like $1, and then you check out a book. And every week, they would allow us to check out up to 5 books. 5 books at a time. I read a book every 3 days. Because back then we didn't have all these other resources. Now you can listen to a podcast. The world is your oyster on the things that you can use. However, I will also say it has become so overwhelming because we have all these big ideas, and where we get distracted with that is we don't focus on any one thing. We run over here and we do this for a little bit, and we expect that to be done in 3 months. And we run over here and do this over here, and we expect that to be done in 6 months. Consistency in whatever you're doing eventually will work. Consistency, but you must be consistent. If you listen to Warren Buffett, he'll tell you the thing that made him who he is today is communication. Communication is how he became very wealthy. He said, I was able to take an idea, simplify it, communicate it to people, and they bought in. That's why I became wealthy. If you listen to John Maxwell, he'll say the number one thing that makes a leader successful is consistency. Yep. So these types of things, whatever that thing is that you're focusing on, I know if you're in that place where you say, God, this is grueling and it's gut wrenching and I've been dusted off by entrepreneurship and this thing didn't work for me. Maybe you just needed to tweak it just a little bit. I've been tweaking stuff my whole life. And you tweak it just a little, and then you tweak it just a little again, and then you tweak it just a little again. But if you ask yourself, what am I doing every day? What are the 5 things I must do every day that will make me successful? When I listen to these guys, when I listened to them 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and even last week, right? Because I do this now every day. I'm asking, okay, what if, what for, and what's next? Those 3 questions: the possibility question, the purpose question, and the action question. What am I going to do today? Because you don't create a rich life by sitting in your house just reading all day.
Nope.
You got to take the idea and you got to apply the idea. And that's really hard when you're in the midst of, God, I got to pay my mortgage and I'm 2 months back on my car payment. But getting in that room and becoming an investor, you will think differently. One of the people that went on our group, we were in Switzerland last week. I rented a castle and had this great time. one of the people that were in the group, I invited them because I knew they were struggling. And as we're sitting around a table on day 3, we had these incredible conversations. I mean, you'd have paid $1 million to be around that table. I'm just telling you, you'd have paid $1 million for the ideas we shared between these leaders, worldwide leaders that came together. I'd have paid $1 million to be in the room. Now I set up the room, so that worked out really good. I just got to be in the room and got to pick who I wanted to learn from, right? So that was a good deal. But he said to me on day 3, he said, "You have no idea how I needed this, because the people I've surrounded myself with are the little thinkers. They're not the big thinkers. Yep. They're the small life, not big life. They're the anacondas that will they're the crabs in the bucket that they've been. Every time I thought I was getting a little ahead, they'd pull me back. They'd pull me down." And I said, "Well, what are you going to do differently when you go home? What are you going to do with your day? Tell me what the next 14 days are going to look like when you go home. Because this does not continue unless you do something different to get something different."
Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyway, Sean, I could talk about this all day long, because I just love to sit in that room with those people and take a sniper rifle to every one of those things that have held them back.
Yeah. And it's like, if I look back, so I started, my first company was back in like 95. It was a tech company. It's the company that Goldman Sachs actually helped to take public.
Ah, cool.
But the only reason that I started that company is somehow I got in the room with some other people that were big thinkers, that were business owners, and I was just kind of the tech guy, right?
Yeah.
But I got in those rooms, one way or the other, I got in those rooms, and those generated ideas. Those generated, well, why not me? It came to the point where these people, they expected me. They're like, "Why are you not doing that?" It's like they expect more from me than I expected of myself. It's like you get in those rooms, you get in those things, no matter what the cost is, because that is 100% the only reason I started that first company, was because of that group. Yeah. 100%.
I love it so much. I love those moments so much. I look back now on these pivotal points in my life where it just life-changing moments, and you go, wow, I was in that room. I went to that conference. I heard that thing. It's the starting point, and then you take it and you take that idea and you struggle through it, right?
Yeah.
You struggle through it. My daughter and I were just talking about this. She's 33. When we were kids, when she was a kid growing up, my kids slept under my desk while I worked, right? Like, they would come after school, and I had a room off to the side of my office that had one of those old TV VCR combos. You know what I'm talking about? The old TV. And on the bottom of it, you got
them at Kmart.
Yeah, I did. And you'd put like a VHS tape in, which I don't even know if you can get VHS anymore, but we put in a Disney movie, and I'd make them popcorn with a Disney movie. And then I'd do my calls, and sometimes I had clients in the next room. Sometimes I'd say to my clients, "Listen, if you want to get your finances in order, but you can't really figure out how to do this with your kids after school and all that, just bring your kids, because my kids are going to be at my office with me. They can all have a movie night in the next room we'll get 2 hours out of Disney, and we're going to plan your finances in 2 hours." And these couples would bring their kids. I had blocks in there. I mean, they were doing Legos. You do whatever it takes to get in front of the clients that you want to be in front of. Yeah. Do whatever it takes to get in front of the rooms and with those peoples of the people like you had, Sean, that said they're business owners that people want to help you. Like, yeah. I legitimately want to help people. I want to see how many more people in the world can we create in their dream, not with my dream, but with their dream, and the resources flow through them, and they go change a problem in Ohio or California or Florida or wherever you're at in the world today, and you take that and you change your community, or you change your world. And it could be the world of your mom, who's living 2 doors down from you in a trailer court, who now gets to live a very nice life.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, and so one of the things that I really like about the book, and it's like, we've been talking about, up to now, we've been talking about a lot of what people would consider the woo-woo side of things. It's like, this is the motivational, this is the woo-woo stuff. But that book is not just woo-woo stuff. I mean, it is an actual, one of the things that you talk about in there that resonated with me was, I think you called it the freedom plan, and you had 3 different numbers that you looked at. What is that freedom plan? Because again, this book is not just the woo-woo stuff. There's actually stuff in this book, the steps and stuff to actually go to that financial, future that you want to go to. So what is that?
Yeah, so I came from the finance world. That's where I started years ago, and still in the finance world, right? And I own several other companies, but my main company for 33 years was in finance. And so I helped families in practical, tactical strategies, practical, tactical steps to go from where they are to where they want to be. And now that sounds woo-woo in and of itself, but here, let me get it real practical. You want to retire one day. How much is that going to cost you? And so I created something called the Freedom Plan. And the Freedom Plan has 3 numbers that you must know so that you can be financially free. The first number that you want to know is what are my, and they're not all in order. You need all 3 of these, okay? So that not one is more important than the other. When you're assembling this, really simple, grab your pen and paper, and here's what you want to write down. The first one is that you want to write down your freedom number. What's your freedom number? So if you say to me, Marissa, in order for me to run my lifestyle today for my family, run my household, that's going to cost me $100,000 a year. It's going to cost me $200,000 a year. It's going to cost me $300,000 a year. You look at that number today. If you are 60 years old, or you're 50 years old, or you're 40 years old, you take that number times the number of years it's going to take you until Jesus takes you home, right? Or the other guy, whatever, till you're off the planet, till you're gone. And you take that number, really simple, and you say, I need $100,000 a year for 20 years. I need $2 million. Or I need $100,000 a year for 30 years. That's $3 million. Really simple math. Now, there's other calculations that you can add to this to make it really succinct to you. But just start there. Start simple. We make this thing so stinking hard that you got to have a PhD in finance and economics. And then you go into these rooms with these financial people that talk over your head and you don't understand what the heck they're doing. And that's why I wrote the book, because I'm like, this is crap. Like normal, everyday, average entrepreneurs, the ones that look and think like we do, we got to understand math and money, because math and money matter to you in being able to create these lifestyles that you want to create for you, for your families, for your communities, for the world-changing ideas you have. So the first one is your freedom number. What is the number you need in a bucket somewhere to be able to pull off of to create the lifestyle you need for you to live with your family, right? Now, there's other things you can add to that, right? But that's the basic. You start there. Then the second thing is, what are my freedom sources? What are my freedom sources? Okay, I'm going to have things like in retirement, I'm going to have Social Security. I might have a pension plan. I have a 401k. I have personal savings. I've got the sale of my business. I've got assets that I may have accumulated. Maybe I have some real estate. Each one of those things generate income. There's another section of the book that ties really well with this. It's called the 8 streams of income. Don't miss it. You want to go back to the 8 streams of income. I just went to my 8th stream this year. Just this year. And that's royalty income. I now have royalty income. I never had royalty income before this year. And it's so exciting because I'm like, I had all the 7 and I was trying to figure out, how do I get the royalty income? You know, without being like Taylor Swift and every time you play my song on the radio, I get paid. I can't sing, right? I can't sing at all. So that's not going to work for me. What can I do? So I found a source, a way to create royalty income. And so the second number is your freedom sources. Write down all of the things that you currently have, maybe that have been started, and maybe it's little. Maybe you're 30 years old while you're listening to this right now and you say, well, geez, I don't have a big retirement bucket. Not yet. Not yet. But if you're consistent and you put some dollars back, well, I don't have passive income yet. Not yet. But if you put enough money into savings and you can start putting money down on that property, right? Well, I don't have an investment account yet. Not yet, but you can start that sucker with $100 a month, $25 a paycheck. You can start that now, right? You could go hustle through your trailer court version and go pick up an extra $100 a month babysitting for somebody this next year, mowing their lawn, doing something different to get something different. So,
well, my last genius idea is I think I'm going to be a foot model on OnlyFans. That's my 8th source.
I
Just
love
my
it.
feet.
Oh my God. Hand models. I'm going to be a hand model. I love it. That's so funny. So those are freedom sources. You write down all your freedom sources. So you go from your freedom number to your freedom sources, and then you figure out your freedom date. When will I have enough sources to create cash flow off of this number? And I give all the examples on how to do this, a little worksheet that goes with it. Very, very simple because it's practical, tactical ways to do that. And in the book, I also talk about what are some of those practical, tactical ways that you can go to get your money working for you. One of the things that people do is they overpay for stuff. You overpay for investment advice. You overpay for advice in general, most of the time. And you want to get tied to the outcome of the advice you're getting. You want to get tied
Right.
and get real smart about that moment of asking money in versus money out. What's my net return here? What am I walking away with? Did I grow this thing? And even in that area, I'll talk a little bit about retail versus institutional investing. Most financial people don't sit down and educate you about the different ways that you can invest today. And one of those will cost you thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in fees. So I explain the difference between those two and how to ask the question to your accountant, attorney, financial advisor, insurance guy, whoever it is that you're working with in your financial world to build your freedom plan. This is how we build a freedom plan. When I think about the practical stuff that people are missing because they go sit before a financial advisor or sit before an accountant or sit before an attorney, and they don't get coordinated plans in place because they don't even know the basics of how much will it cost me to retire? How do I take my tax back? And whether maybe you haven't stepped into entrepreneurship yet and you're in that process and you're saying, I'm going into my second season, I'm going to do something different now, I'm going to retire from this career and go into something else.
Yep.
Let me just speak to you very quickly. If that's you in the room, if you have a retirement nest egg over here, and we can take those three sets of numbers, your freedom number, your freedom date, and your freedom sources. You then have a freedom plan over here and you say, how much do I need to supplement that with for the other things? Going into that room and getting that coordinated from good tax advice for somebody that's working a W-2 based employee type job today, you might be having an average earning or a higher than average earning at this stage in your life. You got to funnel that money off to you. And there are tax strategies in here on how to do that where you can save, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're not an entrepreneur. I love a side hustle. So I would tell you, if you're thinking big, right? You're saying, hey, I need to move this thing forward. If you're thinking big, most of the people I work with, I say, you got to get a side hustle, get a side LLC, get a side company where you can start getting these deductions that normal W-2 based employees that go to work every day,
Yep.
check in, check out, aren't getting. That's very practical. And I show you how to do that in the book and how to ask the questions of your people. What are the questions that you've got to know every single year to make sure that your accountant, bookkeeper, attorney, those kind of people that you're working with today are really giving you that advice. Now, you might not even have those people. You say, well, geez, I go to H&R Block and get my taxes filed, or Liberty Tax and get my taxes filed. Even if you're there, the book has questions for you to ask at that level to say, wait a minute, I need to ask this to my HR people. I need to ask this to my finance people. I need to ask this to my banker. I can negotiate on certain things here, right? And small actions over time lead to great change. That $100 a month, that $500 a month, that $10,000 a year, it is the difference between you being financially free and not. And they are money leaks. They leak out of your bucket every month. So take that back. Like, go to that chapter, go to those three numbers. I'll show you exactly how to do it in there. If you did nothing else other than assemble that and then go take that to your HR, go take that to your financial people today, and then ask them, what would you do if you were me? And then ask them, how do you get paid? You really want to know how those guys get paid. Do they get paid to sell you something? Or did they get paid for the results and the performance of what they have?
Nope. They get paid every time they sell you something.
That's right. So you've got to ask the question in the retail versus institutional world, Are we in partnership in the institutional world, or are we in, hey, sales guy world, retail world, right? And that's very, again, it's very detailed for you to be able to really understand it, so you know who you're dealing with on the other side of that table.
And if the average person, or I don't want to say the average person, but for most people that they start going through this, this freedom plan, which one of those three do you think I would botch first? Like I would get screwed up on first?
Yeah, I think, the freedom number is pretty easy. How much do I need to create cash flow, right? So if you have $3 million, it makes 5% a year. $3 million, 5% a year, that's 150 grand a year, right? Without inflation, without taxes, but just real simple math. I think where they botch it is in their freedom sources. They don't understand how to create the freedom sources, which is why I put in there the 8 streams of income. Because even if you're a W-2 based person today, look at the 8 streams of income and start connecting the dots. Oh, this is dividend income. Oh, this is passive income, right? This is how I get taxed on those things. That's the connecting dots. That's why I mentioned those two. They're like the sisterhood of the traveling pants with money. Okay.
Yeah.
You got to put those two together, and people botch it there because then they get overwhelmed and they go, God, this is just, I have to figure that stuff out. It's not rocket science. Grab a piece of paper, write down where all your money goes and where are you essentially investing it, because broke people and rich people have the same amount of this. It's time. It's just what we do with it. So the difference between your 2-hour Netflix special and Game of Thrones or whatever the heck is that you're watching today, I'm not calling them out. Apparently it's a great show. Don't know. I never watched it, but it's apparently a great show. But what if that 2 hours could completely transform your life if you knew the number? It's the numbers you must know if you want to change your situation. And so then you can start, then it becomes a game. Then you go, oh, I only have W-2 income. I only have earned income. How do I get some unearned income? How do I get some passive income? How do I get some dividend income? How do I get some capital gains income? And I list out each one of those with examples. So you can say, oh, I could apply that $100 a month over here and start that funnel of cash, which is not going to be an overnight deal, but in 5 years, in 10 years, in 30 years. So you think about not just what you're putting in today, but here's the question. What can it become? What could it become?
Yep. And that's what most people miss. They don't understand the compounding effect of the things that they could do to bring those forward. My problem is I think my bucket should be here, and my wife thinks my bucket should be here.
Yeah.
We're on 2 different buckets.
Yeah.
We think.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different story, a whole different podcast episode.
Oh God, you know what? I just did a 9-week course for Maxwell leadership on financial foundations, right? I just did a 9-week course, and I had some of the participants that were in this course with me. They dragged their hostages along with them. Their hostages were their spouses, by the way. Okay, so they dragged their
voluntold. Yeah,
voluntold. They were in the room, and I had one of them reach out to me. And this guy, I mean, this couple has been fighting about money for 30 years, legitimately fighting about money for 30 years, and they reached out to me and they said, hey, could we do a 30-minute conversation with you? I said, sure, no problem. So we had to wait a little bit, but we got it finally on the books, right? And he said to me, I was kind of annoyed with you when I first saw you. I said, well, this is a great start to a call. Oh my God, get me off of this thing, right? Why the heck did I agree to do this? Great. And he said, then you started asking these questions. And then I got more annoyed with you, and I really didn't like you actually at all. Okay. And then he said, by the second meeting, by the second session, he said, I began to think about these questions that you were asking. I'm thinking about it at work. I'm thinking about my drive home from work. I'm thinking about my drive into work. And he said, God, he said, for the first time, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. And he said, not only am I getting it, but I'm understanding where her fear comes from, because she needs this security. and I'm living in a different kind of place. And if I go, we're in trouble. And I was talking about how do you take care of, I had taken a section of my book and I had talked about how do you plan and prepare for your family. And he said, when you taught that lesson on how do you plan and prepare, so you can prepare or they can repair. And he said, when you taught that lesson, he said, I realized as her husband and as the father of these children, I needed to prepare because I've been living like there's always a tomorrow. And he said, that's good because I live in the moment. But he said, it's also not great because he said it's created 30 years of real issues. And they had a special needs son. And he said, I began to think about my special needs guy, right? My kid. And he said, God, he said, I just, by the end of this, this was after it was all, after this 9 weeks, right? He said, by the end of this, he said, not only do I not despise you anymore. I said, great. That's great. He said, but
moving up.
Yeah, that's good. He said, but I just have to say thank you because for the first time ever, I finally got it. And he said, these teachings, which literally came directly from my book, these teachings have changed our lives. They've changed our lives. And I got off the call and I just sat here in my office and I just cried for a solid 15 minutes. I was like, in that moment, if I did nothing else on the planet but help that one family, then the 3 years it took me to do this was worth it.
Yeah. Isn't that the best feeling, that when you get something back that you actually helped another human? I mean, to me, that's why we do. Sure, we want to be prosperous, we want to do things, but it's like that's the whole reason that we do what we do. It's like when you can affect some human's life, that's what it's all about.
It's monumental change. And I think about the people that have written books that have changed my life, that mentored me from afar. And that was, part of that conversation with Mike Kim. Who will you never be able to be in a room with, but you can mentor them through the words in the book. And so, part of what I shared in this was part of my story, which is, what, life ain't perfect. And you gotta figure out how to roll with some of that. And here's what I did to roll with some of it. But here's some real practical things that you can apply to your life. And if you want a better life for you and for the people around you, these are some strategies you can apply with really practical ways of really understanding. Because sometimes we look at statements and we look at stuff and we don't understand it. And so then we put it on the shelf and we go, I'll figure that out later, but we don't get back to it. And this is really about helping you take control so that you and everyone around you can have a better life, so that you and everyone associated with you, your children, your grandchildren, your communities, your church, whoever it is that you're working with today, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing for them? 30 years this couple's been fighting. And he goes from, I despise you to, actually, I really like you now. So that was cool.
That is a very good, very good. And it's like, it's funny. It's like when people actually write a good book, how could you not spend a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is, reading a book, spending 2 weeks to get the knowledge and get the learnings from someone over 30 years. It's like I'm compressing 30 years of your knowledge into 2 weeks. Now, of course, I might implement that stuff and it goes longer and longer, but learn it within 2 weeks is just unbelievable. And the one thing I truly love about your book is, I know it's for entrepreneurs, you build, protect, and prosper, and you do that. But I think even for non-entrepreneurs, for even people that are just in W-2s can use this book, and you don't have to be an entrepreneur. But it is a true book to get from where you are now to a place of freedom, whatever freedom means for you, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever it is. But it's like, it's the roadmap. It's not just the stories. It's not just the woo woo. It has all of that stuff in there. And I say woo, it's not woo. It's like, so I'm writing a book as well. And one of the things that Mike even said to me is that you have to put that stuff in the book for it to make sense for people to take your recommendations and say, okay, this is why it means so much. This is why you do that. And it's like, so that was my biggest thing is like, so you put stuff in there. It's like, that was my biggest hurdle is trying to get some of that stuff in the book. But if we don't put that stuff in the book, it doesn't make as much sense. It doesn't hit. It doesn't, we don't have the why you did the stuff that you did. And again, anybody that I'm telling you, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you want to go get this book because it will help you from the finance. The reason we are entrepreneurs is to become financially free and to have the life that we want to have. And we're in control of it. And this book truly helps you from that side to take that entire route. So again, I want to thank you 100% for actually sitting down, writing the book, because it's a labor of love, but I think this is going to be one of those books that is a must read for entrepreneurs. I truly believe that.
Thank you so much. It is my great honor to do it. The hardest part about writing the book was all the stuff that I had to leave out. I started working on my second book, and I began to think about all the things I wasn't able to tell you yet, right? But this is the foundations of all the things you must know in order to get to the next level, right?
Yeah.
So there's always that next thing, and you go, well, how do I apply what I have here? And really, that's the key. Don't get overwhelmed when you're going through. Take the thing that you say, I'm going to apply this now. I'm going to apply this month. I'm going to apply this next month. And then do it with a partner. Because I will tell you, the other thing that has always helped me most, you were talking about those 5 friends that you can surround yourself with. I've got a group of women that I'm mentoring right now that just came back out of Ireland with me. We were having just a blast. There was 20 of them, and mentoring these women in finance and business. And they had a preset copy of this book, and they read it before we got to Ireland. And now they've created a book study in this set where in groups of 5, right? They've got 5 of them that are coming together every single week. And so they've got 4 groups of 5, and they're doing a book study, and they're literally creating accountability within it, because they said, not only am I going to do it, but I'm also going to take this book and I'm going to do it with friends so that my friends can live and have the life we want to live together.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What a beautiful thing. I said, whoever came up with that idea, that's genius. Why are you not on my marketing team? Right. Like, I was giggling a little bit about it, but thank you so much, Sean. I feel like if you're listening to this today with me, it's not by accident. There was a reason that you popped onto this particular podcast. It is for you. It is for you. And what a difference just a little bit of application to something that can be transformational to your life. And I know that's a big word, but my life has been transformed by the principles that are in this book. Literally transformed from trailer courts to where I'm at today. And I think, wouldn't it be great if we could take 10,000 people with us and do the same thing, or 100,000 people? How would the world look if really people bought into the fact that the world needs you rich?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think going through that book, I think if I summed up that book in one sentence, it would be, thank you for proving that the world needs us rich, and here's how we do it. I mean, it's so again, thank you so much. And so I think they can actually pre-order it at liveliferichbook.com.
Yep. Yeah. On there. And then if you pre-order, you're going to get put into a whole separate little groovy email list that is going to give a whole bunch of extra things to you that are free if you pre-order. And that piece there, when I say that, there'll be a little video series. You're going to see some behind the scenes stuff. You're going to have some workbook pieces. You're going to have all of these workbook pages that are going to be part of it. The tools that will help you move forward with this. If you get the book before August 19th, that's amazing, because you get that stuff. But if you get it after August 19th, that's great too. I encourage you to do it with others. Get your spouse involved, get your kids involved, get your 5 best friends involved, and say, hey, what could this look like if we transform that? So if you go to liveliferichbook.com, pretty easy just to click that button and pop into wherever you want to order your book from.
Yeah. And so just being the entrepreneur that I am, I'm guessing that at some point that you can pre-order the book and get this training, get the stuff. But at some point, you might be paying a couple $100s for this training if it's offered after the book is launched. I don't know. I've never talked to you about that. I'm just, my entrepreneurial mind says, okay, I know that I can pre-order and get it now, but if I wait, I'm going to be paying probably $900, whatever it is,
actually
for this training.
It's more than that. It's actually $2,500.
Okay.
So just as a quick, and I'm so glad that you brought that up because I always forget to mention that, right? But those that pre-order, that same kind of content, because I'm going to do live Q&As as part of that for the pre-order people.
And that's, oh my God, that is so huge.
So you can come with whatever question you have. There's only 2 questions I won't answer: age and weight. I'm going to lie till I die about those 2 things. You can kind of probably age me a little bit if you knew I was shopping or, working at Kmart at one point. But yeah, that's all part of that. And that'll be part of that email that you'll get, that you'll say, hey, here's when you can log on and see those things. And here's where you can get the downloads for free. And all of that will be for sale afterwards. And yeah, there's definitely a cost into that. It's unfortunately not $997. It is $2,500. So you're getting a smoking deal if you do that prior.
So if I order 5 copies of the book, can I go through it 5 times? That's my next question.
Man, right on. You're there. Let's do it.
Oh, Marissa, thank you so much for spending the time today. I know your time is extremely busy. And again, I just want to, thank you for taking the time to write the book, because this can, and this will change people's lives. It absolutely will. This is one of those books that, again, we start off with this, like, you can write a book in 10 minutes with ChatGPT, or you can actually write a book. And this is a book. This isn't a ChatGPT.
Yeah, this is 3 years of my life, actually. Yeah. 3 years. Yeah. Like, when I say it was 2 years to write the book and then a year through like the publishing process, right? Because, and actually it's funny that you say that, because there was a whole bunch of people that said, can't you just ChatGPT this thing? And I said, no, I can't. And here's why. And here's all. And there's a whole big long list of reasons why. But if I'm going to give you my best, it's not going to be AI generated. Yeah. It's going to be me and my life and how I want to add value to you. And I thought about, two different people as I was writing this book. I thought about John and I thought about Monica. And I gave them names, the people that I have worked with in the past. John and Monica, what do they need to know? What do they need to learn? What do they need to do? How can I serve them best? If I was sitting in a room with them and they were sitting across a bar stool with me or across the table with me, what would I want to tell them about each one of these chapters? But more importantly, what would I want to ask them? So at the end of each chapter, there's practical application questions for you to ask and practical things that we're going to ask you to do. Because it's not just a book you read, it's a book you do. You do it. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's a roadmap. I like how you put it. It's like Think and Grow Rich. It's not a book that you read. It's a book that you live. It's a book that you do. And so again, I think this is going to be, I can't wait for this to get out into the general population, because again, I've had a tremendous time going through the book so far. And thank you for giving me an advanced copy to look at, because I feel like I'm cheating now. If I can be 4 weeks ahead of the next guy, I'm going to be that. Hey, Sean, you got my phone number. You call me anytime. You've got my personal cell phone number. So you're a big thinker. You're a big thinker, and you surround yourself with big thinkers. I want to be in rooms with people like you. I want to be in rooms because you up-level me. You make me think on a different level. I can't wait to read your book. When is that coming out, my friend? We'll talk about that when we're off air. That's a whole nother. When we're off air, we're going to talk about that, man, because I want to read that. I know not your entire full story, but I know parts of your story, and you're someone I want to learn from. I want to grow with. I want to surround myself with those rooms that you get into. They are priceless. You cannot put a price on a big thinker's time. Yeah, absolutely true. Absolutely true. So again, thank you for being on the podcast. I can't wait to get this out. And again, if you're listening right now, go and pre-order the book. The book is great.
And that's, you can get that, go get the pre-order so you can get into that training, because that is, the book is priceless. The training is priceless.
Yeah.
Pre-order now.
It's 100x what the book will cost you, right? So it's like, it's a good gig. But if you go to liveliferichbook.com, it's not, it's real. We kept it really, really simple so people could just find it and make it easy. Then you'll get an email after that when the book comes out, wherever you're ordering from. You'll be part of that whole email set. You'll be part of the book club. We'll have a book club coming out of that. You'll have the resources inside of there. And we wanted to do that because at the end of the day, it's only as good as how we apply it. And I began to ask the question, how could we apply that as a community with them? And one of the hardest things I've had is when I have a question, I can't ask a question to the box, right? I wanted to be able to interact with people in a way where we got on the line and we just open up that line and we do Q&A sessions and say, hey, in this chapter, what was that about? Tell me more about this, or this is where I'm at. Give me some advice and help, right? Like some real advice and help. Because sometimes, you don't always get the best advice and help. And I'm not selling you anything with that. There's a book. That's it, right? Yep. So at the end of the day, if you can get advice and help, that one idea begins the change for everything else. It's the ripple in a pond. It's that little tiny pebble you throw in a pond that becomes a ripple for your life. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Again, if Marissa's story proves anything, it's that where you start doesn't determine where you finish. And her book, Live Life Rich, comes out August 19th, but if you pre-order now at liveliferichbook.com, you're going to get all of those bonuses that we just talked about, exclusive training worth over $2,500 completely free. Don't sleep on this. Go get the book now. The world needs you rich, and now you have the roadmap to get there. Thanks for thinking big with me today, and I'll see you in the next episode.